New information tonight after an arrest connected to shots fired into the Democratic office in Tempe and several political signs placed in Ahwatukee with bags of white powder and razor blades attached.
The suspect is 60-year-old Jeffrey Kelly. He's accused in both cases. Fox 10's Brian Webb joins us live in Tempe tonight with the latest. It's been a busy day and police have been talking, and so has the county attorney.
That's right, John, and beyond the bullets and razor blades that we heard about, based on the evidence found, authorities believe Kelly was ready to commit an act of mass casualty.
Mr. Kelly, may I have your name and date of birth?
Jeff Kelly, date of birth 2/16/64.
Jeffrey Kelly in court today facing a judge and several charges, including criminal damage and terrorism. His attorney pleading his case.
In that, they're trying to tie some sort of connection between two different incidents, two different license plates, and attribute that to Mr. Kelly.
It looks like moving day at Kelly's Ahwatukee home, but those aren't movers. They're federal agents searching the house and garage. The ATF told prosecutors they found 120 guns with 250,000 rounds of ammunition, along with scopes, silencers, and body armor, along with the SUV in question.
There is a Toyota Highlander that was covered in his garage in hiding. Also found in the home were two license plates that were the same license plates that were used in the two offenses that were caught on camera.
Court paperwork shows agents found 3 spent shell casings in Kelly's trash can, a Google search of the DNC Tempe office hit by 3 bullets, along with social media posts of a political nature.
He was a little strange, really a loner.
It's a shame. He seemed like a nice guy. And as you always hear, he was quiet, stayed to himself. So who knows? Interested to see.
Late today, Tempe police revealed how they caught Kelly, including surveillance video and license plate readers connected to the SUV found covered in blankets inside Kelly's garage.
Let me be clear. Justice does not have a political party. The Tempe Police Department will uphold the law and protect everyone.
And I want to be very clear as the Maricopa County Attorney. Threats, intimidation, or violence toward political officials, no matter what party they are a part of, are completely unacceptable.
2 years ago, Kelly was suspected of messing with political signs, but no charges were filed. He's behind bars on a $500,000 bond, and no one, by the way, was hurt in connection to any of these crimes. Live in Tempe, Brian Webb, Fox 10 News.
A potential terror attack at the Phoenix Pride Parade was averted. Police arrested a 17-year-old who prosecutors say gathered materials needed to make an explosive device. Marvin J-Lo was arrested on Friday on terrorism charges 2 days before the Pride Parade. Investigators believe he had planned to set off a bomb using a remote-controlled vehicle. And according to court documents, a search warrant on J-Lo's phone revealed an instructional video of an ISIS fighter making an explosive. And police say J-Lo had ordered the chemicals on Amazon needed to make the bomb. He will be charged as an adult. Phoenix Pride is holding a news conference at 5:30 tonight to address the arrest and safety at the event.
Well, we are now less than 2 weeks away from Election Day, with early voting well underway in several states, along with mail-in voting. More than 18 million votes nationwide have been cast so far. More than 150 million total ballots were cast in 2020. So, home stretch until Election Day. Both presidential campaigns fighting for every vote in every swing state, including Arizona.
Fox 10's Lauren Clark joins us live from downtown Phoenix tonight to share the common message between the two camps. Lauren.
Hey there, John and Christina. Yeah, all eyes on Arizona as we continue to just be days away from this election. Now, both of these campaigns don't agree on too much. However, both stress the importance of everyone getting out and voting, also encouraging others to tell other people to get out the vote too.
Please join me in welcoming our very special guest, Donald J. Trump Jr.
From the former president's son.
And that's the kind of leader we had as our 42nd president of the United States, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Clinton.
To to the former president. Two big-name campaign surrogates hit Phoenix as days remain until the election. Wearing a Harris Waltz button, Clinton spoke to black leaders in the state at a Phoenix art gallery, encouraging Arizonans to vote for Harris.
With you, every one of you, you know this race is tight as a tick. You know you can win.
Clinton was the first Democrat in nearly a generation to flip the state blue, a feat not replicated until Joe Biden pulled it off in 2020. And now the Harris campaign is hoping to repeat history through several targeted stops to the state, including with Clinton. His message focused on health care, housing, and the economy.
With you, every one of you, you know this race is tight as a tick. You know you can win.
Republican side, President Trump's son, Don Jr., stopped in the Grand Canyon State 2.
And again, I'm not pretending to be something I'm not. I'm Donald Trump Jr. I'm the son of a billionaire from Manhattan. But if I have sticker shock at McDonald's, think about it, right?
Speaking to enthusiastic supporters in the Assyrian community, he stressed religious values and his dad's stance on foreign affairs in the Middle East. He also encouraged everyone to get out and vote, as Election Day is just days away.
In less than 2 weeks, to change the trajectory of our future, to change the trajectory of our children's future. And that's why we do this, folks.
And of course, as the election just looms ahead, both candidates are going to be in Arizona yet again. The former president is going to be here this week, and sources tell me that the vice president is looking to return as well. Reporting live in Phoenix, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
Arizona-based High Ground Public Affairs out with two new polls. First, the race for president with 13 days until Election Day. Former President Donald Trump's upward trend in Arizona continues. He has now taken a narrow 0.6 of a point lead over Vice President Kamala Harris. Donald Trump now holds an advantage of 46.8% to 46.2%, a slight lead since Arizona's primary in August.
Now on to the U.S. Senate race. Democrat Ruben Gallego continues to hold a sizable lead according to this poll over Kari Lake. Gallego's at 51, almost 52%. Kari Lake is just above 42%. That is a 9.4% advantage for Gallego. Polling shows Lake is struggling with female voters, independents and unaffiliated voters, and seniors.
Former President Trump is making a second visit to Arizona this month. He'll hold a rally at Mullet Arena on ASU's main Tempe campus. That rally begins at 2 p.m. and doors will open at 10 a.m. The Republican presidential nominee was last in Arizona October 13th for a rally in Prescott Valley. He also held a rally in Glendale back in August.
President Biden is also coming to the Valley this week. He will arrive Thursday and speak to the Gila River Indian community the next day. The White House says he will talk about the administration's record of delivering for tribal communities. Well, we are back near record-setting temperatures again.
It's all too familiar. Meteorologist Erica Horvatine is here to let us know just how close we're getting to those records.
Well, guys, temperatures really did skyrocket today. We made it to 98 degrees, and that was just 2 degrees shy of the record daily high temperature. Temperatures in the upper 90s are typical of late September. So we are seeing this kind of heat about 1 month later than normal. And we are going to stay hot like this through the end of the week. We are dropping just a couple of degrees tomorrow. And then by Saturday, that'll be our hottest day, the peak of the heat wave, before we end up cooling back down Sunday through early next week. So on Saturday, we are tracking more record temperatures. Phoenix is expected to hit a high of 99 degrees. That will break the daily record of 98 on that day. We'll also be tying some record highs in Casa Grande and coming within just 2 degrees for Flagstaff, Sedona, and Payson. So all over the state, we are going to be experiencing more of that very unseasonably warm weather and record temperatures. But next week, we'll finally get that relief that we've been waiting for, and more fall-like conditions will set in for Halloween. We'll have a look at that in your full forecast.